Hello everyone, this is Lanceashot. I'm back with another PvP guide for survival hunters, and this time we're going to focus on trapping. The standard trapping function allows you to toggle on the trapping layout and then clicking again in order to confirm the launch for the trap. With the more recent updates since Legion, hunters and other classes have been able to make use of what are known to be cursor macros, and this is very useful for hunters and their traps. What this does is allow hunters to bypass the layout for trapping so that they can just instantly launch a trap at their cursor instead of bringing out the layout. Since the macro allows it so that the trap launches at the cursor, the layout for the trap is not necessary. This makes for quicker traps. Another macro that I use for trapping is the trapping at your feet macro, the one where it's at player's feet. This allows you to drop the trap directly at your feet. If you're directly on the enemy healer, it will instantly get them. Another macro that I recommend is a focus pet stun macro. This allows you to stun your focus so that you may be able to get a trap on them. Another macro that I recommend for your focus is a focus root macro. This allows you to root the enemy healer so that you may land a trap on them. I also use a cursor macro for tar trap. This allows me to launch tar traps at my enemy healers so that I may land a trap or shoot them on their counterplay. The most common way to trap as a survival hunter is to utilize harpoon to trap. You can harpoon to a healer and drop a trap at your feet using the at player macro for trap. Or you can launch a trap, then secure the trap and make sure that it lands by harpooning the healer in place. One of the most reliable ways to trap is to utilize pet stun to trap. First, I used my focus pet stun to stun the healer, then I launched the trap using the cursor macro for freezing trap. This method is basically a guarantee that the trap will land. Another method that I use is to utilize camo in order to get a stealth trap. Sometimes this method can be very unreliable because sometimes it glitches out the trap, but in some cases, some healers that stand still may not expect it, and you may be able to line up a full trap into a full stun, maximizing the amount of CC that you have. This method of trapping allows you to maximize and milk the amount of CC possible. When any stun or assistance is not available and harpoon is not an option, the next best option is to wing clip a healer and slow them and snare them so that you're able to easily launch a trap directly at them. Sometimes I use this to juke out the healer's counterplay and then later launch the trap because they're too slow to dodge it. Another method that I use is I utilize Tracker's Net in order to trap the healer. And what I do is I root them in place and I disengage and I basically run by them and I drop the trap at my feet. Sometimes you can pause for a moment and try to get their counterplay, and if they counterplay, you'll see that your root is either gone or not used, and then you can follow it up with a snare to trap. So when you disengage and you rooted the healer, you can either drop it at your feet or launch it as you run away from them. Or you can simply use Tracker's Net to root the healer and launch a trap at them. When trapping as a hunter, a very important skill to have is faking enemy healers. Healers such as Disc Priests, Holy Priests, and Shamans are able to counterplay you. An easy to do method that I practice myself is that I root the healer and I launch tar trap instead of freezing trap to draw out their counterplay such as prem or grounding or holy ward or greater fade. Because they're rooted, they're not able to move, and because they fell for the tar trap decoy, I can now harpoon them to trap. Here's a demonstration of me doing this to a resto shaman. Resto shaman knows that as soon as I root them, that they throw grounding in order to prevent the trap from landing. But to outplay them, I launch the tar trap knowing that they're going to throw grounding, and as I launch tar trap, and grounding appears, I simply just kill grounding and then I land the trap with harpoon. This aspect of trapping for hunters is just a simple mind game between healers and hunters. Another aspect of trapping that I would suggest is using aggressive play in order to land traps. Sometimes against resto druids, you're able to pressure their partner, and as they appear, swap to the healer and apply as much pressure as possible during your pet's stun, and then simply when the stun is about to end, just land the trap on them and switch back to their partner. This makes it almost impossible for the healer to decide who is under attack and who to commit major cooldowns defensively for. In some matchups for hunters, simple trap to your partner's CC will almost sometimes never be enough in order to land a kill. So in order to stretch your CC, you may have to use root to knock or knock to root. And this makes it so that you force the enemy healer to land in LOS of its DPS. These are all the methods that I recommend learning to trap as a survival hunter. And as always, thank you for your support.
Would you break up just because I told you?